Alright, so we got both of them starting in Sanctuary, getting 50 rupees from the Sank chest, and Ack giving us a real early map check. We got a pendant on Hera, and 2 crystals on Desert and Eastern.
Early half magic, very nice. Not useful, but if they get any magic using items, it enables some handy strats. Checking the pull. Oh, forgot to kill anything.
Well, Fuzzy didn't miss much, so it's just hearts off the pull.
Rupees on the Lumberjack Cave.
Alright, so let's see what's on the mushroom spot. We got 10 arrows, and then we'll check on what's in the bandit hideout. This is pretty standard routing for even for no glitches. So we'll get to see when our runners get doing something a little bit fancy. Ack saving and quitting, skipping out on Kakariko for now. Gonna go to Link's house and head on over to Sahasrara.
Can check Hylia on the way, I assume. And nothing good on there, so he doesn't have to do a clip that would require him to save and quit out.
Meanwhile, FuzzyGames gonna start off on Blind's hut, and Ack gonna show us what's in Sahasrara's hut after picking up some bombs at the Lake Hylia shop.
No bombs for Fuzzy, so he can't open up the back of Blind's hut.
But we did get a shovel, so that'll be something they could route in. Ack picking up a sword. That'll be very nice to have early on.
A flute on the bottle vendor, that's convenient. The earlier you get flute in Overworld glitches, the more useful it is.
Yep, and so far we're looking at pretty standard routing here. Got a glove on Uncle.
Ack's definitely getting some useful items over on his route.
Ack gonna go ahead and get Hyrule Castle out of the way. A lot of runners in Overworld glitches tend to skip this one, but sometimes it can have some value.
Got a decent number of, well, an okay number of checks, and oh, well, a bow for FuzzyGames. That's very useful for getting Eastern Palace and Pod early.
Yeah, we'll see when Ack makes his way back to Kakariko at some point. But FuzzyGames picking up the lamp as well, so we got Kakariko has a lot of good items.
No Misery Mire Dark Rooms this run.
Yeah, Kakariko was stacked like some pancakes.
Gonna be seeing a clip up to the ledge item if it's good. Nope.
Ack is going to check back of escape. Meanwhile, Fuzzy is going to go check possibly K45 here, along with the shovel.
Can clip up to the K. Wanted to do a shovel dash, but didn't get it, I think. Skipping out on desert, which is an interesting choice. I think most overworld glitches runners would clear the desert when they're in that area.
So, with the equipment we have found so far, between both of these runners, we can make our way up the intended route to Death Mountain. We'll see if they end up doing the Death Mountain ascent clip.
And I think Fuzzy's going to be going for the Eastern Palace right now. Got everything he needs.
Yep.
And combined with Sarazwala, the area has some good density.
And Ack just gonna hover on across just to show off a little and save maybe like half a second.
Oh, getting all the way up to tempered already. It's interesting.
So far, both our runners not really showing us that this is the Overworld Glitches tournament, doing everything in the no glitch fashion. Alright, so it looks like Ack is going to head on over to the Kakariko area, probably.
Coming up from the south.
Looks like it's going to stop and maybe do checkerboard here first. K45.
K45 first saves a transition. That's all he wanted. Going up. Oh no, he's going, yeah. That's interesting.
So, at about 9 minutes 20 seconds, we finally got some glitches, folks.
It is possible to clip up there without hopping down first. So it's a bit interesting to see him do that instead.
Looks like he's gonna do a Gina here. Alright.
The fast running is called spin speed. You spin, release a spin, and tap the dash button the frame after. And afterwards, if you go up off stairs, you go at dash speed with normal control.
Alright, so Ack is gonna go up to Death Mountain. Interesting that he's skipping Kakariko for now. We'll see how he routes that in. Not saying that it's the worst play, but whenever you see people skip Kakariko, it's... Oh, and he did not scroll the screen high enough, so... Here we go, we're gonna sit on our hands and wait for the screen to actually load. Oh wow, it actually loaded pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think because it was just barely short.
Usually when that, when you do that wrong, it takes at least a minute or so, but Ack got lucky and didn't take too long. Alright, FuzzyGames finishing up Eastern, getting that crystal, and Ack is gonna head on up to the to Spectacle Rock, check out what's there, and then I will see... We'll see if he goes up to Hera or if he goes over to East Death Mountain.
Carrying a bomb. Oh, ice rod on Spectral Rock Cave. Yeah, you carried a bomb up the stairs for the extra speed, which I don't see often.
It looks like he thought about hovering across the front way, but he thought, he probably was thinking, okay, I probably shouldn't do that.
Oh, that's an interesting hit. Hammer is on the boss. Hopefully for the runners not on Pendant Boss.
Yeah, they're gonna want that hammer to smash those wooden pegs down flat as a pancake. And there's the silvers, so we have bow and silvers available to us from the get-go. And so Hera is fire-locked, and so Ack will be on his way over to East Death Mountain using a clip here.
Oh, a little trouble getting on the right pixel. Clips are definitely a lot harder when you have to dash buffer to the right, because you need about twice as many inputs. He gets it, and he's going to do a little jig to inject his way to the right, and then he's on the out-of-bounds land bridge, which is conveniently placed there for the Overworld glitch tournament. Absolutely intended. Medallion on a floating island. He's going to be clipping up, doing an upwards teleport to get into the cloud water, and then sort of gyrating against the corners of the floating island to get in.
Yeah, this one unless you're very familiar with it, can be a bit of a tricky situation to get in the right spot to jump up on top of there. You gotta do some wriggling of the controller as you're jumping as well, so there you go.
Yeah. It requires some really precise positioning and timing without any really good cues.
Looks like Ack got stuck in there. I'm not sure if he was actually stuck or if there was a way to get out of that.
Yeah.
So Ack doing the hero clip to get back up, and then he's just gonna go ahead and reset, go back on over to the east side to check things out over there.
Fuzzy getting up to hero now. He's got the bow, so he can make use of those silvers. They're going to be very helpful at some points.
Alright, so Ack picking up a shield and Fuzzy going to grab that ice rod.
Yes, there was a hint that Hammer is on boss. Dead rocks being annoying as always. Fuzzy getting the hammer hint. Just falling through instead of doing the bomb jump. Oh, there's some Arya.
Yep, we got the red cane. And we got another heart container, so Ack saving and quitting, and I would expect to see the Keck play finally.
Let's see where else he'd go from here.
He could go on up to the Zora area, but this would be the more lucrative play to make. Alright, so Ack is going to get that lamp, the bow, and the shovel. Which had nothing on it, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Oh, and the flute. Which I don't think did Fuzzy activate the flute?
I don't think he did.
Because while the flute is kind of swept under the rug in Overworld glitches, this early on it could be valuable for some time save navigating the early light world.
Yeah, when you've got it right next to the statue, activating it is pretty very little time, well, relatively little time, compared to when you get it later on. You've got to find a chance to route it in.
And Ack is gonna activate that flute, however, has already made most of the Light World checks.
It can definitely pay off later if he needs to do search for some isolated checks.
Yeah. It could really save his bacon in terms of routing.
And Fuzzy wants Zora's domain items. But just enough for the Zora King.
Alright, so let's see what Zora has for us today. And it's the red meringue. I guess if there was a yellow boomerang, would we call it the lemon meringue?
I would hope not. I know it's Fuzzy's finally going for escape and passage.
And Ack is going to go for desert. Does have a fire source this time, so we'll be able to grab it, and then we'll be able to clear it, and we get some water toads.
I don't think I've ever heard them called water toes. I know the Japanese game calls them finger webs, but that's even weirder.
Alright, so Ack is clearing out desert, Fuzzy clearing out the castle. We have yet to find that moon pearl or a mirror, so it could be somewhere like Super Bunny if that hammer shows up early.
Could even be in one of a few dungeons that can require Super Bunny Revival and Logic Dungeon Revival, rather.
And speaking of lemon, we got the lemon bar here. Gold sword for Acktheboker.
Yeah, this seems being very generous with the swords.
You save and quit. I'm not sure as to why.
Did he already get the checkerboard cave?
Yeah, but
I don't think there's anything else left for him at the desert.
well, he didn't kill Lanmo.
Oh, yeah, that's a interesting choice. I guess he prefers more checks over crystals at this point. Definitely an unusual voting decision.
And Fuzzy picking up that bacon sword in the back of escape. So let's see what we got going on here. We haven't had the hobo check yet. Fuzzy wasn't set up to get into Waterfall Cave, so we haven't checked that yet.
Well,
But
as it
yeah, so Fuzzy is going to activate that flute. Meanwhile, Ack is going to clear out Eastern. And Pyramid Fairy dead. So Sick Kid has some bombs, and I'm trying to think. Have we seen Ice Rod Cave?
I think Ack went by it and then saved and quit out it.
So it looks like Fuzzy's gonna do K45 and checkerboard into desert.
And at this point, it's feeling like Lanmo or Molorn might be the one having that hammer. Because with that, it would allow some Dark World access.
That is true. Chat pointing out that it could be Aga could be expected for our Dark World access. We always traditionally think, because there's so many weird and unique ways to get to the Dark World from, you know, Death Mountain, that we forget that maybe perhaps there's a Moon Pearl on the Pyramid Ledge. But nope, not today. The Moon Pearl is in Waterfall Cave, so Ack is the first to find that and get Dark World access.
And chat's hopes of seeing Agan and Buffett dashed at this point. Fuzzy doing the very long and boring walk out of Agano's cave. Fuzzy floating back so he can clip down to the ledge from above.
Yep, and Ack is probably making the decision to go to the Dark World. That's the best decision you can really make at this point. Everything else is pretty much just kind of like isolated checks here.
Going for Ganon's tower. Oh no, Harris.
So that hammer on a boss can now be on a lot more bosses this time around. And Ack doing a Death Mountain descent. You just spin speed clip off of that area right there that he used, and then you dash upward to bonk off of the terrain, and then you just walk down, and it will do a funny auto walk thing, and you will be in the Dark World. And well, you'll be in the lower Dark World, I should say. It's one of the standard and easiest ways to death mountain descent that you can use.
There's easy clips if you got the boots. There's easy clips if you have the mirror, and otherwise it gets annoying. Thankfully, the annoying ones aren't in logic.
FuzzyGames picking up their gold sword, and Ack is clearing out the front of Thieves Town. Didn't catch if on the map check if this was a crystal or not. We find the small key in the front, so not many items up here in the front. And Axe going to the back.
Neither of them is really leading at this point. They're just both going their own way. Roughly on item party, though Ack does have the Moon Pearl, which gives him a definite advantage in terms of access to checks.
Yeah, what Fuzzy does after Landmo is gonna really kind of decide, you know, the lead here, because Fuzzy doesn't have a whole lot left, so will definitely have to end up at the waterfall sooner than later. But if they kind of hesitate and try to figure out what checks they missed, that could lead to some time loss there.
And yeah, Ack left Desert before killing the boss, presumably for more items over more crystals. And yes, chat noting that with the mirror, it's easy to route in the back of Desert from Mire.
As to why Ack is doing a hammerless Thieves Town, my best guess is because there is the hint that the hammer is on a boss, and Blind is one of the most easily accessible bosses, so... And unless we find something like some more progression, really the only boss we can access at the moment. Besides Moldorm, I don't know if Moldorm has an item.
Fuzzy, I think, going for the Whirlpool to Zora's Domain. Or he'll go first.
Alright, so no hammer on Blind. And it's a crystal on Thieves Town. And Fuzzy checking out the hobo. And now we'll be headed to the Whirlpool to check out Waterfall and get that Moon Pearl.
Another free blue potion for Ack. If he ever runs low on health or magic, or if he feels the need to fake flute in the Dark World. This is beat Ganon seed as all the others in this tournament. Fuzzy going for the standard overworld, which is Darkhold access.
And it looks like we got a 2-dig dig game.
And then realizing that he can go and clear this out now that he has a fire source. Just hesitating for a moment on the stairs. And axe in Meyer with the lovely overlay. And it's a bombos on Meyer, so you can go in and finish that up now.
So, Wildfire asked about the AGA 1 and 2 on the tracker. So, in Overworld glitches, there is a chance, well, I should say not a chance, that oftentimes we may defeat AGA 2 before being able to attack or to finish off Ganon, because we still need the 7 crystals to finish off Ganon in Phase 4. So that's why AGA 2 is on the tracker, because there's a chance that we may have killed AGA 2 sometime, middle of the run. And there's always the chance of AGA 1 being required. But that... Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Chad asked about Fuzzy switching to normal arrows, and that's probably for less lag in sprite-heavy rooms, because those sparkles do add sprites, and those can lag the game pretty hard.
Yeah. But yeah, and there is always the chance that we can have to do AGA 1, but generally the only time that you have to do AGA 1 is if there's a required item on the Lumberjack, because there is no way to glitch into the Lumberjack without killing AGA 1, as of yet at least.
Oh, that's a good hint. Fuzzy now knows that there's possibly something very good in Swamp Palace, a big chest.
Alright, so here comes Moldorm. This could have the hammer. Ooh, and Ack getting tagged by a slug. Alright, so Fuzzy is headed into the Dark World now. Fuzzy will be doing a descent. Ack, meanwhile, getting back to the room that he died in.
Fuzzy going for a Skull Woods dip, it looks like. Oh, there's the check. Red on Palace of Darkness and Misery Mire, and Pendant on Swamp Palace.
Yeah, but for us Overworld glitch people, doesn't really matter where the red crystals are, because unless the mirror is locked inside Pyramid, which would be rude, but yeah, that's the only case where it would really matter, is if the mirror is inside Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, that's probably the worst location in Overworld glitches.
A unique item in the western wing of Swamp, so Swamp sounds pretty valuable.
Yeah, that's 2 unique items. It's pretty loaded. Fuzzy not just using Samaria there for some reason.
Yeah, and speaking of Samaria, that early Samaria find could point to Hammer on Vitreous here as well, because we got the early Bombos and Cane of Samaria, so definitely gave us the access here.
Yeah, it could definitely pay out well for Ack.
But we still do have a lot of overworld checks to make, so there could be a chance for more progression to show up, such as Fire Rod, or something that would unlock another boss to kill. So Fuzzy's done checking out Skull Woods, and now starting on Village of Outcasts. Acktheboker almost up to Viddy here, with a gold sword and silver arrows that will make this fight pretty easy. And none of those eyeballs really got the chance to even move. Ack, beautifully done, making sausage out of Vitreous and picking up that hammer.
Fuzzy doing Thieves Town without the hammer as well.
Looks like Ack had a little decision made there. Couldn't figure out what he wanted to do, save and quit or continue on.
It's gonna do the clip out. Oh, got stuck in the train. Tried to dash up and did something I've actually seen in another match. It's very easy to accidentally jump off the ledge there. It's a lot. The activation point is a lot wider than you'd think.
And Ack getting that shovel dash. Looks like he might be going to finish up Desert. It looks like I think that indecision was, I think it was stemming from he wanted to mirror back and finish Desert at the same time, and then realized, oh, I don't have the mirror.
Yeah, unfortunately, the items and the routing put him at Mire a lot earlier than he probably expected to be.
Alright, so what else do we have that we need? We need Fire Rod, and that's about it. Technically hook shot, but Ack can hover wherever he needs to go. Yeah, this seed is pretty low on requirements for items.
Although with 2 unique items in Swamp, that mirror might end up being necessary.
Yeah, that could be. So it looks like Ack is gonna go through this portal and into Hype Cave. Meanwhile, Fuzzy is gonna take on Blind. And because Ack died in Misery Mire, Chicks had pointed out that he was in fake Dark World, so had to go back this way to get Stumpy first.
Very nice blind kill from Fuzzy. The YBA into Ice Palace is kinda sucky because if you don't get it on the exact same frame, there's a chance you could end up in an infinite scroll, which isn't very fun. There is, however, a clip to Ice Palace without either the bottle or the mirror that isn't too hard, actually.
Yeah, it's just a very long path, and it's just basically you gotta memorize all the ways you have to go. So Fuzzy has not gone to the... Oh, yeah, did Fuzzy ever go to East Death Mountain? Or did they just not pick up the Bombos?
Yeah, I guess they missed the item on Floating Island. Seems like he was definitely in Paradox Cave. That's not really great for Fuzzy.
So, okay, Fuzzy knows that the item is there. And we got the pod big key up in the front here. And now FuzzyGames is headed into the Mire area where they will get the news that they need that Bombos to get in.
And there's that moment of regret.
Alright, so now Fuzzy has some thoughts brewing. And up to the mountain, probably gonna go grab that Bombos, but was thinking about probably what to do after that, if there is any way to route things in while you're here. So Fuzzy is gonna go to Dark Easteth Mountain. I would expect at this point to see some, obviously the overworld checks, but maybe a dip into Turtle Rock. Because if you're gonna go up this way, might as well make the most of it, I guess.
Yeah, just getting the Super Bunny cave. Oh!
Ooh!
Oh, that was definitely worth it. Never mind what I was about to say.
But
normally that would not pay off as much.
That's actually going to be potentially bad for Fuzzy, though, because they know that there is a item on the boss, so Fuzzy may go try to kill Trinex.
Yeah, getting baited into Turtle Rock, possibly.
And not to mention, it is a green pendant, so it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal. You know, you get the chance of seeing if that hammer is on Trinex, and if not, you get the consolation prize what's on green pendant.
And yeah, it's going in the middle Turtle Rock. Gonna Samaria across instead of doing the rail clip. In Overworld glitch logic, hammer is not required to get into Turtle Rock in logic, so it could be on Trinex.
Yeah, even in non-glitch modes, in inverted, hammer is not required either.
Yeah, inverted actually is very similar to the major glitches logic for major glitch mode logic for Turtle Rock, because in major glitches the logic expects you to be able to do clips to all 3 of the entrances, and in inverted it just lets you hop and mirror to them.
I don't believe the clip to laser bridge is required by logic in overworld glitches.
Yeah, it's not in logic and overworld glitches, but oh, mirror for FuzzyGames, that's very nice. But it's very useful, obviously, and I expect a lot of the people running this will know it.
Yeah. So Ack is taking on the Helmsword King. Fuzzy picking up the mirror, so we'll see, because technically the mirror is not required. because we found Fire Rod. So, but it all depends on how much Ack knows about how to get into Ice Palace.
No hookshot, so Fuzzy has to do this the normal way.
And Ack is going to give us a look at what is on the Ether tablet. And let's see if this is the East Death Mountain play for him.
Don't think there's going to be anything interesting in Spike Cave for him. Pretty much only is the Fire Rod at this point, as we've seen that he can hover. Definitely does not need those rupees.
Yeah, if Ack is going to GT, I'd say this is a logical play. If you can hover all of the left side and you want to do lamp strats for right side, you can clear all of the bottom.
And he can, of course, do the Woolworm hover to clear out the top as well.
I would expect to see Ack at least finish off GT here. Maybe not. Maybe in full, maybe not. He doesn't need to do right side if he's looking for just Fire Rod, because Fire Rod is required for that, logically. So he'll know that Fire Rod won't be there, but you know, at least we'll see an Aga 2 kill probably.
Fire Rod was in Super Bunny Cave. Checks. So Ack could have actually been in Go mode at this point if he'd picked it up while he was on Death Mountain. Fuzzy going for the Trinex kill, hoping he has that hammer.
And Trinex has just 20 bucks, so that's a feels bad moment for FuzzyGames there.
Ack going for the very easy bomb jump across that gap.
So Ack picking up the big key. Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens when he finishes left side and doesn't get the Fire Rod. Because if he does right side, then he's definitely going to be looking for the mirror or mitts to get into Ice Palace. Alright, down to Armos on ice. Meanwhile, Fuzzy is gonna go kill the moth. It is interesting that, unless we missed it, that FuzzyGames did not get Bombos.
Yeah, kind of a big thing to pass up, especially with that Crystal Mire.
Yeah, and you've got the mirror, so you don't even have to clip up there to get it. So Ack is in the search for I mean, I guess Fire Rod could be here as well, so yeah, we'll see if he goes any further, because that'll be a big tell. So he is not going to the right. So he's looking for Fire Rod, for sure. But that may indicate that he does not necessarily need the mirror or the mitts.
Yeah, it definitely seems like all he is interested in is the Fire Rod.
And I assume that Fuzzy is going to go back for that Bombos here. And Ack getting past the blueberry shooter room.
Someone egging you on to make all these food comments?
Perhaps.
Just going for the nice and easy golden sword kill on the Landmo 2.
Yeah, the lag-free method.
And Fuzzy's in the Dark World again, is he not picking up Bombos?
Probably doing it the intended way.
intended strat's very disgusting. But honestly, a lot easier than finagling with the corners of Floating Island.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot faster if you don't know, if you're not the best with getting onto that island, because it can take a little while. And Ack messing up the torches here. Getting it on the second try.
That can be definitely a bit annoying if you're doing that with just a lamp.
And Fuzzy on the way back down, probably headed over to Meyer at this point.
Gonna be very sad he didn't get the Bombos medallion as early as he could when he finds that the hammer's on Vitreous here. Yeah, nice well-done to hover from Ack.
And because Fuzzy never fixed their camera when coming down from Death Mountain, we get a little extra on our rain cloud mess up here, so looks a little bit extra glitchy today.
Yeah, still got the Death Mountain tiles loaded there.
And down goes Aga 2. So we just have Ice Palace and Skullwoods left for Acktheboker. Meanwhile, Fuzzy's doing Meyer. We'll get that hammer. So what Ack is going to be looking for is that fire rod, and there's still plenty of places he can check.
Picking up the pyramid. He's doing a moat clip, possibly going to Hammer Pigs.
Yep, you can swim through the moat here and just hop on out of the water, and there you go. There's some hammer pegs. Okay, so Ack going to Mountain Cave. Looks to be maybe East Death Mountain here. Well, Dark East Death Mountain.
Yeah, he's gonna be finding his fire rod, and then he'll be in go mode.
Yep, he's definitely gonna go for the East Dark Death Mountain. So yeah, he'll find that fire rod, and he'll be in potential go mode.
Yeah, as long as he can do the Ice Palace clips. Or he might do Skullwoods first and hope he can find something to get him to Ice Palace easier.
We get the information that if we wanted to open the front door to Turtle Rock, it would be quick to get that open, but we don't really care about that. Alright, so what Ack does here is gonna tell us the story, and he's still looking for stuff. Maybe he's just looking because it would be convenient to check this place, but and it'd be easier to get into Ice Palace, but we'll see if he tries to get into Ice after. As you said, I would imagine he'd do Skullwoods if he... and hope he finds something.
Just falling short of the hover there.
Yeah, because we could still... We could be at a situation where he wants to, you know, hope to not have to do anything he's not familiar with, but maybe he knows how to do it without mirror and just hasn't practiced it enough. Oh, but Ack is going into Turtle Rock, which could mean that this could be go mode.
If he finds the mirror and he can do the mirror clip, which is one of the easier ones. But yeah, the fact that he's looking, going this deep to find more items means he definitely doesn't know how to do the YBA or itemless clips. Ice Palace. But he's on track to get that mirror, so he's still in a very good spot.
Yeah, and looks like this is gonna be the mirror here.
And he's out.
So I would say that that's probably going to be go mode for him.
It clearly doesn't need those mitts. And Fuzzy, meanwhile, looks like he's going for the mirror wrap to Ice Palace. So we're going to get to see them both do it.
Yep, looks like Ack is going to clear Skull Woods first.
And we see some funny stuff on Fuzzy's screen, and he walks into his palace just like that.
Yeah, basically what Fuzzy did was got to that ledge up there and then used the mirror on the same frame as he transitioned, and it enabled that screen wrap to happen. And you just gotta go up, not too far though, because if you go up too far, you'll hit another transition and infinitely wrap. And then once you get about to the edge of that transition, you go off to the right and it'll scroll your screen halfway so that it will allow you to walk right into Ice Palace.
Yeah, you could see him just tapping very gently as he was getting close to that upper transition. Because if you've practiced this, you know how easy it is to hit that end. Just ruin your day.
Yeah, Dishmu, the intent behind some of the clips being in logic is to, and some not, is to really kind of limit the times where you can really hard lock yourself and just mess up your game. So that's why mitts are required in logic for Ice Palace, because as you mentioned, if you don't have mirror, it would force you to do some potentially dangerous clips that may hard lock you, and no one wants to have that happen.
And the mirror clip isn't in logic either, because even that can put you in an infinite scroll where you wouldn't be able to save out.
Yeah, so the logic is more of a something to enhance the fun more less than, because there is plenty of stuff that isn't in logic that you can do with overworld glitches, but it's just, again, limited to try to make it so that you can't hard lock yourself with the in logic stuff. Alright, looks like Axe setting up for that mirror wrap here.
Using a bomb to get himself on the exact pixel he needs to be. And you can see him being careful just before that upper transition as well. Oh, I do not think he went far enough up, and he got stuck.
Yep. That's the danger of that clip. You have to be pretty precise in getting that. You got to go far enough up without going too far. But with that, Ack, just gets stuck, so not a big deal there.
Yeah, thankfully he didn't get the infinite scroll, which he would have had to hard reset to get out of.
But because he save and quit there, even an infinite scroll at this point isn't going to be too devastating.
Yeah, he did not expect to land up there. He could have clipped back down, but I don't think he knew how to do that on the fly.
Yeah, there are some general rules that I haven't memorized as I should. That there's like a general kind of rule of thumb depending on the height of the cliff as to what kind of what we call them is bumps. As you can see on the wall, like the pattern on those angled walls is kind of, you see little bumps there, and that's what we use to determine where to clip to. And so there's kind of general rules depending on how high the wall is, what bump you should use to get an expected result.
Yeah, especially with the thicker walls, a lot of them will just cause you to jump out from inside the wall and get you nowhere really useful. Accidentally mirrored early. And he's going a little bit further this time.
It looks like Eck is having some trouble with that clip, so this is giving Fuzzy some good time to catch up.
Fuzzy might want the hook shot for World War 2. So
But yeah.
So it seems like he doesn't know the hover or want to do it, which is very understandable. Hovering is kind of a pain.
Yeah, I think Ack is getting a little bit flustered with these clips because, to me, I think like it's possible. Sometimes when you get stuck in a wall, it's possible to push yourself out. And he really doesn't seem to be given that a chance.
And he's going up even. Oh, he hit the transition and had to reset right away. Yeah, he's having trouble hitting the right vertical position for that mirror wrap there.
Yeah, so, you know, this is the one last trick he's going to need to do. And so I expect Ack to kind of continue trying for quite some time, because even failing at this multiple times is faster than trying to go find those mitts.
Yeah, there isn't much locked behind the mitts, so there are very many places they could be in. Transition to the right too high.
I'm sure that Ack is going to have some choice words for this that he'll have to keep to himself, but
seems to be getting very frustrated at this point.
So FuzzyGames done with Ice Palace, and interesting. I would have expected Fuzzy to go to Pod.
I think he's hoping for the hook shot in Swamp Palace, maybe. Nope. No, he might be going to Pod, actually.
Looks like Pyramid check first, then Pod.
Not gonna find anything of use there.
Yeah, this, I feel bad for Ack. This is not really working out for him.
Fuzzy is looking for the hook shot. Otherwise, he would have probably done Ganon's Tower already.
And Fuzzy will get to see what's on the green pendant, and it is some bombs. And checks, that may be true, but I don't know if Ack even knows what direction he wants to go.
And once again, he isn't in the right vertical position, and he got stuck in the wall.
Basically, you have to be. You could see how the tiles are, squares. Like when you look at the grass tiles. Basically, he needs to be fully on that specific square, and that should be sufficient.
Brahman noting he might have just pressed the wrong direction to eject himself from the wall. Because in certain situations, when you're embedded in something, the game will snap you to a good position, depending on which direction you pressed, usually in the opposite of what you pressed.
Yeah, luckily for Ack, Fuzzy needs that hook shot, so it's given him some reprieve on this clip here.
Oh, he got it. He pressed down and got out, and he's running a nice palace now.
All he's got to do is find that entrance.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's breathing a sigh of relief and staring at SRL.
He could still very easily have this if that hook shot is always off for Fuzzy.
Yeah, I don't think it was in pod. Because I think Ack full cleared pod.
Oh yeah, Fuzzy's still got Ganon's tower too, so not good for him. Going for that hammer jump. I will never call it a yump.
Yeah, there are 2 unique items in Swamp, so that is a thing. And Ack doing a hover instead of a bomb jump.
Probably very happy to be on familiar glitching ground at this point.
Yeah, that was really that mirror clip was the last hurdle Ack had, and he's probably breathing a slight sigh of relief. But when you're stuck that long on a specific clip, I don't think that makes you feel any more comfortable when you finally get it, though.
Yeah. Probably still feeling pretty tilted after that.
But I mean, if he knows that FuzzyGames can't hover, that may be a consideration. Because who knows where that hook shot is. And this is, unfortunately, one of those seeds that comes down to can you hover.
Yeah. I will probably learn to do the molder and bounce before I learn to hover.
Alright, down goes Cold Stare. So all Ack has to do is go and take down the pig, slay some bacon. Alright, so with gold sword in hand and silver arrows, this will be quite the easy pig kill.
And our last moment of suspense will be seeing whether or not Ganon has the asking for food text in this seed.
Alright, so we've got slug facts from Ganon today.
Very educational seed. Getting lots of solid hits in there.
Alright, Ack, on to phase 3. And Fuzzy is going to go into Swamp to look for that hook shot.
Starting off with a nice double on Ganon. Yep, 2 doubles.
Alright,
Very nice.
break out the skillet because Acktheboker is sliced up some bacon. Get your GG's in the chat. And Acktheboker finishing with a first place SRL time of 1 hour, 33 minutes, 26 seconds. GG Ack.
Yeah, hard on the victory there.
And we will see if he wants to do an interview.
And one of the hints was for an item in the big chest, and Fuzzy just got the big key, so might be hookshot there.
And we are joined by Acktheboker. GG, congratulations. And how'd you feel about that seed?
I'm still a little flustered at myself right now for the trying to get into Ice Palace for so long shenanigans. I figured out what the problem was, though. So we got that solved for the next game.
Yeah.
But yeah, luckily you were bailed out. It looks like Fuzzy needs that hook shot to complete, so had to go look for that.
Yeah, there was a hint for the hook shot and left side swamp. That sucks.
No, it was vanilla.
Sorry, Fuzzy.
No hookshot. The big chest.
Oh, it was in the big chest?
Yeah, there was actually 2 unique item hints for Swamp. There was one on left side, and there was one in big chest.
And unfortunately, Fuzzy doesn't know how to hover, apparently. And hovering won you the seed.
But yeah, I mean, how do you feel that your routing went? You know, in general, I saw that looks like you wanted to try to route Misery Mire and Desert, well, at least Landmo, at the same time, but didn't have the mirror. So,
I mean, I got the 2 items there, and to get all the way to Landmo, I would have. I mean, I guess I don't know. It didn't seem like that big of a deal to not do there. So I was like, I can hold off just in case, but if not, I feel like whatever time, like going back is gonna be the same regardless. So it didn't seem like I was in any hurry to do it. And I just did it when I did the shovel spot. I didn't feel that great that I did GT, and I didn't like the fact that I was doing Ganon's Tower because everything in it was locked behind items that I didn't have at the time. Yeah, I didn't really get anything that was in logic because I didn't have the fire rod yet or the hook shot, and almost all of the fetch quests and stuff were behind that. The hook shot could have been at the powder spot, I guess, but that's about it.
Yeah, luckily, you decided to go into Turtle Rock and get that mirror because it looked like because technically you could have done without the mirror. There are obviously ways to do the ice palace clip without mirror, but you know, it's fortunate that you had made the decision to go into Turtle Rock and make the search there because that got you that mirror.
Yeah, I didn't know about the no mirror thing. Is that a newer thing that came out, or I mean, it could also be I don't pay attention. It's definitely
There are a couple ones you can do. There's one with an Overworld YBA and one that just requires you to jump past the transition a couple times to wrap. So
okay.
yeah, they're handy, but people didn't think you knew them, and I guess that's right.
Well, I mean, again, it was very apparent I barely even knew how to do the one with the mirror, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. Were those newly discovered, or have they been around for a while?
I am not too familiar on the history of when stuff was discovered. So, like, stuff that I figured has been around for a while, I've learned has been pretty recent.
If I remember correctly, I think the itemless way is newer, but...
Yeah, I mean, I remember, you know, doing some research for the last Overworld Glitches tournament, and I don't remember an item way to get into the Ice Palace, so I'm still, you know, stuck in the 2018 Overworld Glitches mentality, I guess, but I'll definitely have to take a look into that. That's pretty awesome. It's hard enough to remember all the all the other stuff, and then it's like, by the way, here's, you know, dozens of more things that are even better, and you're like, oh god, you know?
Yeah, there's all these really situational, but very useful in those situation clips. So you've got to remember to be able to consistently get these really good times.
I still get hell all the time for how I go up Death Mountain, but you know, it's the way I learned. You know, don't fix it unless it's broke, all right? And I can't overcharge my brain too much, you know? It really needs a RAM upgrade to get all these glitches down. There's just so many. But it's really fun.
Oh
Yeah, I feel you there. Michael K loves to loves to yell at us for not doing all the glitches.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm with you there on not knowing the whole catalog.
Oh, there's so much I don't know either. Like, I barely know map wraps or one-frame clips or lots of... I've learned a lot of other, like, even more mundane clips just from watching this tournament.
I'm okay with it, though, you know? I feel like the more clips you know, the more it's going to help your... I guess it helps your routing, but you'll start routing maybe certain ways or different ways because, you know, you can utilize more tricks. My route basically depends on the amount of things I know how to do, so at least me being ignorant and dumb gives me a little bit of a routing divergence away from the people that are a little bit better, and I suppose if I was going against someone who knew more glitches or was better, I would want to route differently than them, so I'm just saying that I'm using my ignorance as an advantage. That's going to be my story. I'm sticking to it.
Well, the other thing is, right, so you could learn all of the clips and glitches and stuff like that, but if you don't know how to utilize them properly, you're gonna route potentially more inefficiently. You know, you could route like a no glitches method, or you could just try to use every glitch possible and end up routing worse. than if you just didn't even use glitches. So it's definitely kind of a trade-off when you're less experienced of, well, okay, I could just do like a primarily no glitch, routing, because that's what I know the best and I can execute it the best.
Yeah, exactly. And even to add to that point, outside of the hammer being in Mire, God, I don't feel like you needed an actual glitch to pull off anything. Speed.
Yeah, the opening of the seed was surprisingly glitchless on both sides.
Yeah, I felt like I was just playing an open seed. I was kind of enjoying myself, to be honest. I was like, oh, this is great, I'm just playing a normal old open seed. I don't have to worry about any of these.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see some alternative approaches to things. Your opening was definitely interesting to watch.
I mean, it was, yeah, I just didn't do anything. Ooh, I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was a good warm-up, too. I was still waking up.
Yeah, I wish I could do that while just warming up.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate the compliment. And again, as always, man, thank you for the commentary, tracking, restream, all that good stuff, guys. I think I'm going to go head off and get some breakfast, but I always appreciate it, so thanks a lot.
Oh, and by the way, we did sneak in some puns.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, good. I mean, I was called out for that. That was not my request. FuzzyGames, that was all him. In fact, I almost didn't even see that, then I read it, and I was like, this is really funny. And then everyone started blaming me for it. I was like, oh, man. Typical
Yeah, theirs was out of control with those puns.
Good. I will definitely have to rewatch it to hear that, and then I will have to, blame Fuzzy for making people blame me.
All right, well, GG, and thanks for putting on a great race for us.
Thank you guys. GG, appreciate it.
Yeah, make sure you give Ack a follow there as we watch FuzzyGames complete out this seed. Aga2 down, and all that's left is the Big Pig.
It's always a little weird seeing Ganon's tower actually at the end of the Overworld glitches seed.
And again, we have Gold Sword and Silvers, so this should be a pretty easy fight. Not to mention, I'm sure Fuzzy has some of the safeties that were never really used that we collected along the way.
Just relying on those hookshot iframes a bit. I doubt he'll need to go for the potion or anything. Always fun getting those really long Ganon teleport sequences. Going for the torch glitch. Passing up on those doubles. Angry slashes because he missed it. Ooh, that's not good.
And taking a big ol' hug from the pig. Yeah, Ganon may be a pig, but he definitely has some bear hugs. That should be enough for phase 3 there.
Hopefully, Ganon won't be taking a bite out of him again.
Getting torch glitch again. This should be a double. Does not get a triple. Just one more arrow to go. And down goes Ganon. FuzzyGames turning the pig into sausage, and we'll be crossing that bridge. We'll get you the official time. Second place time of 1 hour, 47 minutes, 32 seconds. GG FuzzyGames.
GG.
Looks like Fuzzy will be joining us, so we will be waiting on that. And while we wait on Fuzzy to get in here, we've got a couple more matches coming up for Overworld Glitches. Coming up at 2 p.m. Eastern, we've got Gland versus Obscure Lifeform on SpeedGaming 3, and Doomtap versus Furaime on SpeedGaming 4. And it looks like we are joined by FuzzyGames. GG, and how did you feel about that seed?
Thanks for the GG. Yeah, so that was interesting.
Vanilla hookshot.
Yeah, I kind of, at one point, in my head, I said hookshot has to be in Swamp. I knew it was either probably going to be in the big chest or on the left side, because one of the other hints said a unique item was left side. So I was just like, I got a bunch of overworld spots to check, but I feel like it's just in Swamp, so I'm just going to go to Swamp. And then I guess the hammer being on a boss made me do a little extra than I expected. Because when I did Tower of Hera, I found Silvers, which was cool, and I found the key, and in my head I was like, maybe there's something after coffee break, but I'll wait, I'll defer that. And then I got the hint about the hammer on a boss, and I was like, okay, well, this is right here, it'll be a quick clear. Okay, done. And I was like, well, maybe it's on Trinex, because now I have the items for Trinex, so I went and did Trinex and no dice. So yeah, just at one point, it's in Mire, cool.
And you passed up that medallion the first time you were going through Lightwall Death Mountain.
The Bombos, yeah. Yeah, I didn't have Mirror until I went in Turtle Rock, and I don't know how to get to the island with glitches.
Oh, yeah, that would explain it. It's pretty annoying. It's easy to get out into the clouds, but then it's really annoying to get back onto the island.
Yeah, that's the part I haven't practiced, is getting back on the island. I know you can clip into the clouds from a couple places. I've done it from over by Lumberjack House. But,
yep.
But yeah.
And we heard about your breakfast request, and I did work some puns in there.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was great, because like, you know, I was doing another thing yesterday, and I come back and I see Ack just like mentioning me, and he's like, look at this right here. And I read up a little, and yeah, he's getting all the flack for the breakfast comment. So I feel like my work there was done. Didn't win the race, but I won the match.
Lost the battle, but won the war.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't know. I mean, it was weird. Flippers at Desert leading to Pearl in Waterfall was weird. As soon as I got Ice Rod, I thought it was leading me to Trinex, but that was nothing. And then, yeah, I mean, I guess the only other thought I had along the way was that there was a possibility that maybe Hookshot was in GT. But I was going to wait a really long time before I bit the bullet on that.
Yep. But anyway, we've got to get set up for the match ahead of us on the same channel. So, do you have any final words there for the seed or for the tournament?
No, I just want to say thank you to Ack for a couple of really fun matches. It's been great, entering this tournament for the first time. I've always entered non-glitched ones, but the glitch one has been a lot of fun. I need to use more glitches, but I've been enjoying it. And thank you to the commentary and to the tracker as well.
Yep.
Always thankful for the trackers for managing to keep their eyes on everything going on both screens. It's a non-easy job.
No, it's definitely not.
But yeah, so make sure you give our runners a follow. Links are in the chat, as well as my co-com Shiku and our tracker Samamas. And again, we've got a match coming up for you. This is going to be Gland versus Obscure Lifeform on this channel in the next few minutes. So stay tuned for this one. And Shiku, any final thoughts?
It was an interesting seed seeing them work within the limitations of the glitches they know. Made for some very different routing decisions.
Yep. Yeah, it was definitely a glitch knowledge. I think they were evenly matched, so it's definitely an interesting one to see. But that'll do it for this broadcast crew. So we will get the change of guard happening, and you'll be joined by the broadcast crew for the Gland versus Obscure Lifeform match momentarily.
Hope you'll stick around to watch that too.